Good morning, everybody. Kate Johnson here from Briargate Farm and the Art of Cheese for day 2 of my 5 days on a Cheesemaker's Farm series here at Facebook Live and also at Instagram Live. Anyhow, this is day 2, and as you can see, the girls are eagerly awaiting being milked. So that's our demonstration today. This is my little milk house, and we're going to milk 2 does over here on Facebook, and then we'll milk the third one over on Instagram right afterwards. So let me turn things around here. We'll get a better look at the girls. So if you joined me yesterday, you'll have met the babies. So we have 3 does in this pen, and there are 7 babies, and 4 of them are exclusively bottle fed, and the other 3 are nursing but getting bottle fed a little bit. So we have to milk the mamas so that we have some milk to give to the babies that are being bottle fed. And so we are going to milk 2 of the does here on Facebook. This is Phoebe and Salsa. These girls are both first fresheners, and a first freshener means that this is the first year they've had babies. They are both 2 years old, and this is the first time they had babies. Phoebe had triplets. Let's see if we can see her triplets. The little spotted one there is her son Chandler, and then these 2, the brown and black one, are her daughters Rachel and Monica. So you see the theme there. And then Salsa had 2 babies, and they are right here, Taco and Tequila. So we have some fun naming themes here at the farm. At any rate, to get things started, what I usually do is put a little feed in the tub for the does who aren't coming out. And that keeps them a little bit busy. Oh, I just realized there's water in those tubs because it rained last night. Oh well, we'll get one doe out here. This may be a little clunky. Try to keep the babies out, just get the right doe in. All right, Phoebe likes to go first. I'm gonna turn this around again. All right, so here we are in my little shed of a milk house. If I can get my tripod to stand up. There we go. So this is a milk stand. This is called the stanchion. And as you can see, Phoebe's more than happy to jump up here because she knows there's feed waiting for her. We train them early as babies how to jump up on a milk stand, and pretty soon they realize it's a pretty good deal up there. All right, so the first thing I like to do is clean up the teats a little bit. Little terminology here. There is 1 udder and there are 2 teats. And in fact, the udder is divided in half. There are 2 distinctly separate halves. They're separated by a ligament in the middle. And so they produce different amounts of milk on each side. They are not actually connected. All right, so I don't know if you can see him here, but my ginormous barn kitty has just joined us. He likes to get some of the first milk. So the first thing I do is squirt just a little bit of milk into a tub. This initial milk has got more germs in it, and also I can just look at it, make sure it looks okay. And then I set it down because Dusty, the barn cat, he doesn't really mind if there's germs. I'll show him to you. Oops, he left. He doesn't want to be on camera. All right, let's see if we can do this without knocking the camera over. Okay, so we cleaned her up with a little a disinfectant called Fight Back and a little wipe. And then the next thing I do this only about once a week, but I run something called a mastitis test, the California mastitis test. And this is just to pick up any subclinical mastitis that could be developing. You want to catch mastitis as early as possible, and so testing on a regular basis. What we do is we squirt a little bit of milk into the paddle, swirl the paddle around. I don't know if you can see it. See if I can get it a little closer here without dumping the milk out. Anyhow, what should happen is the milk just stays milky. If the milk turns to a gel, that tells you you've got a little mastitis, and you want to treat for that before it gets any worse. All right, so her milk looked fine. Now, Phoebe is nursing 2 of her 3 babies full time. So the only reason really I'm getting her out primarily is for training. This is her first year in milk, She, had never been milked before, and it's a process. They have to learn. And then the other reason is she's producing a lot of milk for babies. She needs a lot of calories. And so I like to give her a little grain to keep her milk production up. And then the other reason is that babies tend to pick a side that's their favorite side, and they nurse more on that side than the other. And because milk is a matter of supply and demand, if they stop milking on one side, first that side will get engorged. That's very uncomfortable and can lead to mastitis, but then it will just stop producing. And so pretty soon you will lose production. And so I always like to even them out. And I usually will just kind of feel the udder and sometimes just visually inspect it. And I can usually tell which side they're not emptying as completely. And then I can kind of even things out a little bit. And it's interesting because it kind of changes. Like one week they like one side better and the next week they like the other side better. So mostly I'm leaving almost all of the milk in her for her babies. And in fact, she doesn't have a lot of milk right now because they're nursing 24/7. But I can feel that this one side is definitely a lot more full than the other side. So I might take a cup of milk out of this side just to make sure that we keep things even. That's good for her udder health. It's going to keep her producing better. And in the meantime, she's getting a little food and she's getting some training. So I'm not going to get a lot of milk from this dough. All right, and in fact, then I'll see once it's kind of loosened up and it feels even, I figure we're good. Now she's going to go right back out there and get nursed again, but I'm going to go ahead and spray the ends of her teats with the with the disinfectant because that's just good for udder health. And then let me show you what I have over here. I have a filter system. So there's a filter on a jar and I can pour the milk through there. Now this milk is probably going back to the babies. My last dough that I'll milk today, I'll probably be able to keep some of her milk for me. I guess I could just take this with us right now. Oh, hi, Michelle. Hi, Joe. I think you might be the only two watching this morning. No, there might be a few others. All right, so Phoebe's done. And what I'll do is put the grain in here for the next dough and hope that Phoebe doesn't jump back up there. And then, oh yeah, she's got this little habit right now of running back out here to eat grass. And normally I would just let her do that, but she'll come back in the milk house in a minute and disturb our second dough. So she has to go back in here. All right, so now the trick is getting the next one out without letting the whole herd out. All right, so there goes Salsa. It's a little hard for me to do all this one-handed and videotape, so bear with me here a second. All right, I know, you wondered where I was going. Okay, so here's Salsa. And for the most part, the does figure out a pretty good routine. So she is up on the stand now. So Salsa is also a first freshener, but we are bottle feeding her babies. And the reason we're bottle feeding her babies, I mentioned yesterday for any of you who joined me, was that we had a positive CAE result on this dough. CAE is a disease that you don't want in your herd. And I already did her mastitis test yesterday. And it's passed through the milk. Now, I was pretty sure that positive result was a false positive because I had just vaccinated her, and that can happen sometimes. The kitty's back here, so we're going to give him a little more milk. And it did turn out that it was a false positive. We tested her again later. But in the meantime, when the babies were born, we didn't know that, and since that disease is passed through the milk, we had to immediately pull the babies from her and bottle feed them. So they're back with her. I mean, they've been with her the whole time. We've just been the ones feeding her. But that means they don't know how to nurse. And so we have to milk every day because nobody's milking her. And then we're just feeding her milk back to her babies. So that's why she's being milked. As I said, she's a first freshener. One thing that I notice about does who are, their babies are being bottle fed, they actually get much easier to milk because their teats get bigger from all that weight of the milk. So she's much easier to milk than her Aunt Phoebe. My does are pretty much all related. They're all related to my first doe, Skittles. This is actually Skittles' great-great-granddaughter, Salsa. And she is a very sweet doe. She has done a great job for her first year. All right, so we've got her milk here, and you know, she produced a pretty nice amount. She's only giving maybe a half gallon a day, maybe a little more some days. Let me put this on so we can see the filter. And so we just filter this right into the jar. All right, so then we will come back and spray these teats. So what we've done here when we're milking is we've just opened up these orifices. That's the hole the milk comes out of. We've opened them up, and now we're gonna put her back into the poopy, you know, goat yard. I mean, we try to keep it clean, but it is a barn. So we want to close that orifice back up, and we're going to shoot a little disinfectant in there. That is the best way to prevent mastitis, is keeping things clean. So she's all cleaned up now, and we'll let her finish eating. And then we will wait to do the third doe over on the Instagram channel. So if you want to see that one, you can go over there. It's Art of Cheese Longmont, or The Art of Cheese Longmont. Anyhow, I'll tell you a little bit while she's finishing up just about these funny names in case you are cracking up at my naming choices. So we have a fun thing we do here where we have different themes for the names for the does from each generation. So to give you an example, Skittles was our first doe, and all of her babies were named after candy. So back there in the red collar, the brown one with spots is Almond Joy, and the other one in the red collar over there is Starburst. So those are her two daughters remaining here. We have two of her sons also, Hershey and Snickers. So then the next generation has to take a new name, but it has to, the theme morphs from that first name. So Starburst, her babies all were stars. So I'll introduce you back here to Capella. Yeah, she knows her name, see? Capella in the purple there is Starburst's daughter, and Capella is the name of a bright star that means little she-goat. And then Capella's babies have to take the star theme and turn it into a new theme, and now her babies are moons. So she has two moon babies over here in the blue. We also color code generations. So this is Calypso, which is the name of a moon, and Phoebe is the name of a moon. And then the next generation has to morph those names. So Phoebe, as you see, all her babies have been named after Friends characters. So we have Rachel, Chandler, and Monica. And then Calypso, we take her theme. She's a moon, but Calypso is also a music genre. So her babies are named after music genres. So Salsa is one of her babies that's a music genre. She's had, we had salsa and reggae and disco and jazz. And last year was samba and tango. So then Salsa's babies, and of course salsa is a Mexican food, and we have taco and tequila. So we have about as much fun naming goats as we do milking them and making cheese from their milk. All right, so that's all I'm going to do on this channel. If you want to keep watching, I'm going to milk the last doe over on Instagram Live, so it's Art of Cheese Longmont. And then I will be back here today at 5:45, and we'll do this all again because we milk twice a day. All right, so everybody have a lovely morning, and maybe I'll see you over at Instagram. Maybe I'll see you tonight. Maybe I won't see you till tomorrow. Anyhow, have a lovely day. It looks beautiful out here. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.